Hey, hi everyone. This is a video to showcase how to create patterns in Adobe Illustrator, which can be really useful for all fashion designers throughout their entire career. This video is mainly created for those that are absent on a lesson when I am explaining the process, or also useful for those that like step-by-step instructions that they can pause and play at their own leisure. So I'm on this page because this is our day map at the moment. It has lots of different resources and notes for you. This one here is important, but I haven't gone through it as a class. It has a number of different patterns that you could be inspired by when creating your own, but it also has a range of different terms and words that you can include in your visual study writing, especially when you're talking about what it was that you actually created. So have a look at this website here. These are a bunch of videos that you can refer to if this tutorial still leaves you with questions. And this document right here is a Illustrator template, which you are going to open now. Really quickly, these keywords shortcuts will also save your life, so please make sure that you refer back to these. Okay, so I've opened up that template document, and there is a range of 3 different areas, which are the different steps we'll go through to create our pattern. So 3 different things, I guess, that you have to do in order to create something. So anyway, this one here, this section here, I should say, is our swatches. So you are going to go on to create a number. We're probably going to need to create another lot of swatches here for you to create samples of different patterns. Remembering that you're creating them with the intention of designer number 2 using them in their own brand. So whether that be Nike or whether that be Louis Vuitton, whoever your brand is for number 2. Okay, so we've got this disgusting vomit-worthy pattern that I've created here using shapes, so star shapes, but we also have this other pattern here that's more random, which seems to use brush strokes. I'll show you how to use those in a moment. We then have a range of boxes here, which you are going to transfer your color swatch or pattern from this spot here into one of these sections here, like so. We're going to be putting these swatches into your swatches here, which you can then go on to select and repeat your pattern multiple times, but I'll undo that for the time being. And then finally, you're hopefully going to be able to go on and put your patterns that you design into shapes. For example, this really quick dress or shirt that I drew, and you'll be able to apply your patterns to that. So step 1, step 2, and step 3. Okay, let's start off with this one, the basic shapes. What I'm going to ask you to do, so pause this video in a moment, is you're going to use the shape tool over here. Right clicking on it will allow you to have multiple shapes pop up to create, I guess, a pattern within this square. Some functions that you should be aware of: if you hold shift and you draw out your shape, it will create the perfect shape. If you let go of shift, you can create whatever sort of circle or whatever type of shape it is that you are creating. You can move them around. You can also rotate, not that that does much for a circle, but anyway. You can also change colors over here. You can change the color of outlines and increase the width of the outline. Look at these functions up the top here. Another thing, you're not having those functions. Change your layout from Essentials to Essentials Classic, and then you'll be able to follow along with what I just told you. So yeah, have a play around with all of these things right here. Okay, I'm going to let you go, pause the video, create something out of shapes here. You can overlay them, or you can just create single shapes, adjusting colors. Pause here. Okay, now hopefully you have a swatch of colors and shapes here, making sure if you have any shapes that go over the white page, it's called an artboard, but anyway, like this here, then please can you pause the video again and change this so that then nothing overlaps these sides. Once you've got that, then what we are going to do is draw another, selecting a rectangle this time, a square that overlaps the entire artboard, the entire white box. Make sure that it isn't too short or too long. It fits exactly perfectly. It doesn't matter what color this shape is. Once you've got this, what you're going to do is go back to your black arrow tool. Anytime that you're in between or trying to select things or do just anything out of the ordinary, make sure that you always go back to your arrow tool. When you've selected, then you're going to select everything within that square. What should be coming up is all of our shapes. Let me just have a look. I'm going over to my layers section over here to just have a look and see. No, it's not that one, it's in the stars. We should be selecting everything. Let me try one more time. If you're having difficulties like I am at the moment, you can use the zoom in function, which is Control Plus, to so that then you can see everything more clearly. I've just worked out what it is. Hopefully for you, here I'll change this instead. Hopefully for you, when you're selecting, you're seeing a bunch of lines show up once you've selected the object. This doesn't seem to be working for me. It did work. Okay, let me talk you through what I just did there. What you're going to do is, as I've been saying and as I've been having issues, go over and select all of the objects. That includes the rectangle that's here and the shapes that are underneath it. What you may have happen is, say it's a star or a rectangle or whatever underneath this rectangle here, those shapes should be outlined in whatever color, so red, that appears here. Unfortunately for me, for some reason that isn't happening, but if I right click and I go make clipping mask anyway, it does what I'm asking it to do, which is to merge whatever was within that rectangle into the same shape, so that then if I click and drag my 3 hexagons around, I think they're hexagons, but anyway, then they will all move together. I'm going to undo to make sure that it's all in the right spot. Once you've done that and you've created your clipping mask, then you're going to open up your swatches that's just over here, and then we're going to click and drag our clipping mask into this area and just hover until it appears there, and then it will move to that spot. Then what will happen is, if I zoom out a little bit and move over to our red swatch, if you then select this shape and then fill it with that swatch, it will then apply your pattern from this little sample over here into this bigger area. Now, you may not like the way that it puts your pattern down on that rectangle, so if you, like me, don't like how your pattern is arranged, double click on the swatch just there, and then this box will appear, this pattern options box. What you're able to do from here is change the name of your swatch, so I'm going to call it Blue Hexagon, assuming that that's how you spell that, and that it is a hexagon. I probably need to go back and check. Then you can go down and you can change the tile type. The tile type that you choose will depend upon your pattern. For me, my pattern almost fits within like a circle within this square. So what I'm going to choose is maybe the hexagon shape. That fits better for my pattern. Others, the brick will work for you, etc., etc. So yeah, just have a play with that. You could also have a play with these other functions. For me, I don't think we need to change the 5 by 5 centimeter. That is the artboard that we are using, or used over here I should say, which was 5 by 5 centimeters. You can also have a play with these things here. It's up to you. Once you're happy with it, then all you have to do is go done, and then it will save that pattern to that one there, and also to this one over here. Now, if you are finding that your hexagons or whatever pattern it is here is too big or small for the shape, then what you can also do is select the shape, right click, go transform, scale, And then make sure that you've got transform objects unticked, and then you can adjust the percentage of which your pattern will appear. So if you want it smaller, make the number smaller. So for example, you could make it 50%, and if you want to check that, just tick your preview off. This is at 100%, and then back on, and it'll show you at I guess, yeah, smaller size. And then if you wanted it larger, you could go say 150, tick the preview off, and then back on, and it will appear larger. Okay. All right. So that is how you create a just generic pattern. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off this video, and I'm going to make a part 2 which demonstrates how you can create a more seamless and more complex pattern. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, everyone.